after all these Banks books, I still like him. And I got a feeling you like him too.
Well, it would be hard to write about him if I didn't. I keep wondering if a change is going to come and if I'm going to think I've had enough of him, time to move on to something else. But it hasn't happened yet. So until it does, I'll keep on writing about him.
Let's start with his personal life. Is that all right? Because his wife has been gone for how many books now?
Oh, about 7.
Yeah.
Mm.
And somewhere on the line, I missed a book or two with you, and I missed because he had a bit of a romance with the other detective, Annie, which I'd always been pushing. Every time I saw you, I would be bugging it, like, when's he going to get together with Annie? When's he going to get together with Annie? And they got together and they split up, and I missed it all.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
Why didn't it last long? Because you like the tension, and getting it together was just...
I found that afterwards, I liked the tension it created. I didn't know at the time that it necessarily would do that, but the problem at the time really was it was too close to his sort of, he split up with Sandra. He was still in some ways holding the torch for her, and at the same time the working together was difficult too. So you take those two things, all the baggage of his previous of his marriage and Annie's own baggage, and the fact that they work in close proximity, it just became too difficult really. So they split apart. But yeah, it does create an interesting tension, I think.
Because throughout this one, there's still a something there. Yeah. Between them.
Well, they're friends, and they're friends that fancy each other, really, and that's always difficult. It happens in a lot of situations where men and women, for whatever reasons, are not together as a couple, but they are close in a lot of ways, and they are attracted to one another. And that's what happens with Banks and Annie. Sometimes it flares up, a lot of the time they keep it at bay. The job helps do that to some extent, but of course the job also helps it to flare up as well. Nothing like a dead body for getting the juices flowing.
You have a couple of dead bodies in this one to deal with. Let's talk about the two cases. One is a body found in the maze. Tell me about it.
Well, the thing about Eastvale, which is a town I invented, based loosely on Yorkshire market towns like Richmond or Ripon, it's never been finished, so I can always add bits to it, even if they're 18th century. I just haven't mentioned them before, and that's one of the great things about it. It can still grow, but not just with modern buildings. It can suddenly sprout bits that have been there for centuries, and the maze is one of them. And it's a old area of storage places, probably at one time shops, small warehouses at the back of the market square. That's a lot of narrow cobbled alleys, and very difficult to negotiate your way around. So it's got a bit of a reputation for a place where people go and take drugs and things like that. And this girl wanders off down one of those alleys on her way home from the pub one night, breaks off from the group she's with, and that's it.
To me, that area, it seemed like I can't remember what the area is called, but White Church, where the Ripper,
Whitechapel.
Whitechapel. It seemed like Whitechapel to me, with the narrow little alleys and people going in there for less than honest reasons. Is that what you were trying to sort of conjure?
I think in miniature, yeah. I mean, Whitechapel was a bigger area, but in some ways it has the atmosphere. It's sort of a murky atmosphere. It's a mini Whitechapel, and of course that does conjure up images of Jack the Ripper and those kind of things going on. It's not quite as gruesome as any of the crimes Jack the Ripper committed, but it's gruesome enough.
The second one is a much more bucolic setting to find a body. Describe that one.
It's the Yorkshire coast, and not too far from Whitby, but a rather desolate stretch of the coast. And it's a setting I really like, and I used it before in a novel called Caveman Song, which is one of the non-serious books. It was all set in and around Whitby. So I'd wanted to use it again, but it's not always easy to have Banks out there, so it's not really part of his area. So I thought it'd be an idea if Annie was on loan for a while to another area, and she could be working there. So that's what gave me the idea for the split cases. You know, they both have separate cases, and we jump back and forth between the two of them.
Also allowed them to get a little professional breathing distance, which I think is part of how the romance kind of, because at one point Andy sort of makes a play for him, and I don't think that would happen if they'd been working directly together, but because of the distance, I think she freed up to do that.
Yeah, and also her emotional state is a little fragile at the time. You know, she's looking for something, and she's probably looking for companionship, and Banks is there, you know. And also, I mean, you're right that they haven't seen each other for a while. They have been working separately, so in that sense, it's more likely to sort of flare up when they do meet than if they've just been seeing each other every day in very run-of-the-mill kind of situations.
Now, is it giving too much away to say that Banks gets laid in this without giving away who
Not
did
really.
it? Is it? 'Cause
Not
I was
really.
so happy for him.
People have been worried about him. You know, it's been a long time. So
It has been.
I do listen
talk
to
about a
the
dry
readers.
season. I mean, he's had a lot of dry seasons.
No, I mean, you know, I get enough emails from people saying, "Isn't it about time Banks had a girlfriend? Come on, give him a break." You know? So I actually do listen to them and thought, okay, why not?
I love your stuff, and this one was a pleasure to read, as always.
Well, thank you.
The book is Friend of the Devil, an Inspector Banks novel. I've been speaking with the writer Peter Robinson and Friend of the Devil, published by McClelland and Stewart.